the all-seeing eye awakening the infinite within. Since the dawn of consciousness, humankind has gazed upon symbols as gateways to the unknown, hidden markers etched by ancients to communicate truths too profound for mere language. There exists one symbol, one enigmatic image that transcends borders, cultures, and eras, a single eye encased within a luminous triangle. It stares back from the veil of eternity, neither judging nor demanding, but simply observing, infinitely aware. This is the all-seeing eye, and it is not a relic of secret societies or ancient cults alone. It is undeniable proof of enlightenment. Symbols like this have captivated humanity for as long as we know. They pulse with meaning, evolving in the collective consciousness of humanity. And no symbol has endured, or radiated as much esoteric power, as the eye that watches all. Why would such a symbol persist, appear, and reappear across so many civilizations? Is it mere coincidence, or evidence of something greater moving behind the veil of ordinary perception? When the Egyptians painted the Eye of Horus, they spoke not just of a god's vision, but of an awakened state, a consciousness capable of perceiving not just the world, but the very essence behind it. The eye is not a passive observer. It sees truth where others see illusion, unity where others see separation, eternity where others see only time. To understand why this symbol is proof of enlightenment, one must first know what enlightenment truly is. It is not knowledge collected in books or secrets passed between cloaked figures in candlelit chambers. It is a state of being, an awakening to the fundamental truth of existence. Enlightenment is the moment the veil falls away and you realize you are not a separate being confined to flesh and bone, but the very consciousness that breathes life into every atom, every star, every fleeting thought. The eye symbolizes this awareness. It is the symbol of one who has opened the third eye, the seat of insight, the gate between the mundane and the eternal. In ancient India, mystics spoke of the Ajna chakra, a radiant energy point in the center of the forehead through which divine wisdom flows. In ancient Egypt, the Eye of Horus mirrored this, a symbol of wholeness, protection, and supreme perception. And yet this same image appears on currency, architecture, and artwork around the globe, whispered through Masonic temples and woven into the ancient stones of forgotten ruins. How can such a symbol emerge independently in so many places unless it is not being invented, but remembered? It is as if the human soul, upon glimpsing the infinite, leaves behind this mark, a signpost to guide future seekers. Enlightenment is seeing not with the eyes of flesh, but with the inner eye, the mind's eye, which perceives the oneness behind the illusion of separateness. The all-seeing eye represents that awakened state, the cosmic awareness that transcends the ego's illusions. It is a mirror reflecting back to the viewer their own potential for infinite perception. Consider this: when you look upon this symbol, something stirs within you. An ancient memory, a resonance beyond words. That is because the symbol is alive. It is a glyph encoded into the collective unconscious, a key crafted not from metal, but from light itself, unlocking doors within the psyche that lead to higher states of being. Why is it undeniable proof? Because such a symbol cannot persist through millennia by accident. It has been preserved, not because it belongs to a secret order or conspiracy, but because it is an eternal truth made visible. Points toward enlightenment the way the sun rises in the east. As long as humanity seeks, the eye will appear. Look closely once more. Notice how the iris of the eye is not merely a reflection of the physical world, but a vast cosmic portal. It is both a window and a mirror, stretching beyond space and time, reaching into dimensions beyond human perception. The eye does not merely look at what is, it encompasses all that was, is, and ever will be. It is the lens through which the infinite universe gazes upon itself, a symbol of our connection to realms far beyond the physical, to the boundless consciousness that flows through all dimensions. The light rays emanating from it are not just symbolic, they are the very energy of the cosmos, radiating wisdom from planes of existence that transcend earthly understanding. This is the eye that sees all, not just the world as we know it, but the vast, interdimensional web of existence that binds all things together. Mystics and seers across ages have described the moment of enlightenment as an opening, a sudden expansion, as if the veil of the material world were lifted, revealing a sea of endless, shimmering consciousness. That moment is captured in the eye. Its gaze pierces through illusion and reveals the infinite. To look upon it is to be reminded of that truth lying dormant within. When the all-seeing eye appears within the third eye, it is not simply a symbol, it is an awakening of the mind. This presence can shift one's perception of reality, breaking down the boundaries of the ego and the constraints of ordinary thinking. It opens the door to deeper awareness, allowing one to see beyond the veil of illusion that separates the individual from the collective consciousness. The very act of witnessing the eye within the third eye is an invitation to step into a new state of being, one where the mind operates from a place of clarity, inner knowing, and cosmic connection. It dissolves the mental fog, bringing a profound sense of peace and understanding, and with it, the realization that all is interconnected, that all perceptions are reflections of a deeper truth. When this vision appears within, it is unlike anything the ordinary mind can fabricate. It does not shimmer, distort, or shift like a hallucination born of fevered thoughts or restless senses. It arrives with a clarity so profound, so absolute, that it leaves no room for doubt. Hallucinations feel unstable, fragile, dreamlike, but this is steady, ancient, and immeasurably real. It carries with it a weight, a silent authority that feels older than thought itself. The light of it does not flicker. Its presence is not moved by emotion or fear. It is calm, constant, and utterly still, as though the entire universe pauses to reveal this single, perfect truth. Those who see it understand in an instant that this is not the mind's invention, but something far greater, an undeniable encounter with the eternal. It feels as though reality itself has stepped aside to show you what lies behind it, and in that moment, there is no confusion. It is not imagination. It is not illusion. It is the witnessing of what has always been, waiting to be seen. And when one attains enlightenment, it is said that the third eye opens. This is not a physical organ, but an aperture of the spirit, a gateway to perceiving the invisible forces that weave through the fabric of reality. The eye in the triangle represents this awakened sight. It is the final ascent of consciousness from the material to the divine. It gazes from the top of the pyramid because the seeker has reached the summit, and from there, perceives the totality of existence. But what of those rare souls who, in moments of piercing clarity, behold this very symbol not upon a page, nor etched in stone, but within the vast and sacred temple of their own inner vision? What of those who, in the stillness of meditation, in the deep waters of dream, or in a sudden flowering of awareness, see the all-seeing eye manifest before the gaze of the third eye, shimmering like a radiant star within the darkness of closed lids? To witness this within the third eye is the clearest, most irrefutable mark of enlightenment itself. It is not a fantasy nor imagination, it is the language of the eternal speaking in symbols. In that instant, one is no longer bound by the illusions of separation, nor lost in the fragmented mirror of thought. Time dissolves. The self, as a limited identity, melts into infinite presence. There remains only the gaze of the eye, staring back into itself, infinite witnessing infinite. This experience, this inner vision of the all-seeing eye radiating from the center of one's own being, is the final affirmation, the moment of awakening spoken of in sacred texts. hinted at in riddles by mystics, and whispered throughout secret societies for generations. It is not theory. It is not belief. It is knowing. In that moment, clarity becomes reality, and reality reveals itself as pure, undivided consciousness. Those who encounter this sacred vision are no longer seekers, they are finders. They have stepped through the veil and touched eternity. The vision is not metaphorical. It is not artistic. It is real, more real than the world of forms, for it arises from the eternal, where all truths converge. To see the all-seeing eye at the center of the third eye is to look upon the absolute, the infinite presence of the self behind all selves. It is definitive enlightenment because nothing remains hidden. The one who sees it knows beyond words, beyond thought, beyond debate. The eye is the symbol and the proof, the message and the messenger. It is the sacred reflection of one's own boundless, deathless consciousness. In that moment, the individual awakens to the truth that they are not merely within the universe, but that the entire universe is within them. And so, when you next close your eyes and find yourself drifting into that vast inner space, watch. Listen. If in the silent depths you see that single, radiant eye gazing back from within, know that you have reached the summit, that you have seen what the sages spoke of, what prophets carried in their hearts, what mystics died for and were reborn by. It is not a symbol alone, but the eternal eye of awareness itself, arising within you as a reflection of your infinite nature. It is the mark of the awakened, the undeniable signature of enlightenment, and the final proof that all you have ever sought was already within you, watching through the veil, waiting for you to remember. The all-seeing eye is not a symbol invented by man. It is a revelation, a manifestation of the formless into form. It appears when the seeker is ready, when the soul remembers what it has always known. It is the reflection of your own divine nature staring back at you from the heart of eternity. This is why it is undeniable proof of enlightenment. Not because a book declares it, not because a teacher proclaims it, but because it arises spontaneously within the soul that seeks truth. It emerges unbidden in visions, in dreams, in sudden moments of piercing clarity. It is seen by those whose eyes are open, not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense. When you look upon this symbol, understand that it is a message not from another, but from your own higher self. It is your own consciousness calling you home, beckoning you to awaken from the dream of separation and remember the infinite light from which you were born. It is the universal signature of enlightenment, the echo of divinity made visible, the portal through which the eternal gazes back upon itself. And so, when you next see this symbol, whether carved in stone, glimmering on paper, or burning in the canvas of your mind, pause. Breathe. Listen. Let it remind you that beyond the shifting tides of form, you are already awake, already whole, already eternal. The all-seeing eye waits for no one. It does not demand. It simply is. Silent, timeless, unchanging. It is the witness of worlds, the keeper of light, the guardian of truth. It sees you not as you appear, but as you truly are, boundless, radiant, infinite. This is the mystery. This is the proof. This is the light that has guided seekers through the long night of ignorance. And it still shines, here, now, in this very moment. In you. In me. In the silent gaze of the eye that sees all. Forever,